Okay, so August 23rd, we're transitioning the fall garden. Uh, Across the back there, the cucumbers that were in the pot, I just went ahead and dropped them in the soil, and they've been producing like crazy. Um, the squash all failed up front. It kept getting bored, so I put okra in here, and it seems to be doing well. And the collards, they finally bolted, shot up, and they turned bitter, so we pulled those. So yeah, we've never done okra before, so hopefully it keeps going like it is and we can get some good eats off of it. Over here, catnip going crazy. Rosemary, very well adapted and turning towards the sun now, because when I transplanted it, I pointed it back and now it's pointing towards the sun. Oregano, creeping right along, really nice. Surviving marigold there. Bronze fennel, doing fantastic, and it's going to seed, so I'm just scattering the seeds all around the base there so we can hopefully get a good cluster of them. What do we got here? The thyme, doing really well. Lavender, blooming nicely. And I'll probably transplant the second lavender over here into the ground too. Eggplant, we harvested a bunch of little ones and then they started blooming again, but you can see the leaves are just all chewed up with bugs, and so we're going to pull those and probably do some lettuce or carrots up here. That second lavender. Mint, doing really well, starting to flower. The Astromeria, I think it's done with its blooming cycle for the year. Dragon's tongue never did take off. Paul Robeson tomato, it's at the end of the season, so I'm going to pull that up today, as well as a couple of these Cherokee purples. You know, if they're, you can tell they're just, it's at the end of their life, really trying to hang on. Eggplants coming out too. My edible flowers, I use those mostly just for pollinators. Basil, doing well. The chives, really adapted to this area. And the dill, you can see it dropped its seed, so there's loads of baby dill down there growing. Chamomile too, we haven't done anything with it, but it'll probably go as a permanent resident of the herb garden. Just little experiments. I get some carrots in flower pots there. And here, same thing. Those are Danvers half-longs. The one remaining cucumber in a pot, and we pick off it maybe once a week. We pulled the lettuce out of this pot, and tomatoes sprouted up. So I thought, well, let's see if they'll grow and we can get anything off of them. They're volunteers, so Victor here getting some sun. Then around back. So yeah, the squash here failed too. It got bored through. Volunteer cucumber there on the left front. And then we got, 6 foot tall pepper plants that are just now starting to fruit. I mean, they should have been fruiting for months, but not. Oh, cucumber in the last storm looks like it took a hit, so it'll probably either die or go to fruit. Anyway, so yeah, you can see little bitty pepper starts here. I mean, really hardly anything. The Paul Robesons back here, they just grew straight and tall, and a little bit of fruit, but not much. I think they want more sun. This thicket of tomatoes back here has been really nice. We'll get a mix, a lot of those little grape tomatoes, and then some sandwich slicers. You can see we got some in there. Still getting some big ones out here. So that's going to be a big old Cherokee purple coming in. Just a matter of finding them, and that was 5 plants that all grew together. Then over here, all right, so the green beans, when it came to the end of their season, they all died off. So we planted pole beans. So the first ones were bush beans that just grew along the ground. These are pole beans. You can see I threw up some fencing there and made some tripods, and they're just climbing up like crazy. And then in the gaps here, from everything we've seen, people say plant lettuce. So I put lettuce seeds in the gaps, and then as well as back behind here where it's shadier, and that'll keep the lettuce cooler so it won't bolt as fast. Even though it's really hot, it'll keep it shaded. But these pole beans are crazy how they're climbing and climbing and climbing right on up. I just took a tomato cage and put one on top of the other, give them something to climb up. But yeah, they're fantastic.